After our visit to Kafui, we headed north into Zambia's Bangweulu Wetlands to look for some of its specialities on the Trail of Giants. First stop, Kasanka National Park. Kasanka is most famous for the largest mammal migration in the world, when millions of fruit bats arrive during October each year, something we will need to be back for. Being May, most roads in the park were still too wet to drive, but it was still possible to get a feel for the park.
Although a relatively small reserve, it has beautiful wetlands, and as it is situated close to the DRC border, it hosts a mixture of very interesting species. We saw fascinating species like the Gambian sun squirrel and the kinda yellow baboon. Yes, it's kinda yellow, but that is also its real name.
Camped right on forest edge at the wonderful pontoon campsite, where we had a Sitatunga ram right by our camp and also heard elephants at night. Not too far from Kasanka, right at the end of a pretty beaten up and typically Zambian dirt road, you will find the site where famous explorer David Livingstone passed away and his heart was buried. Visiting this serene place where he died while on his knees in prayer was special. As the African proverb goes, seeing is different to being told. We even took an obligatory photo of one of our on-the-road library books.
The next day, we were off to the Bangweulu Wetlands, a community reserve managed by African Parks and local residents. The long bumpy road gave us a good opportunity to practice the not-so-easy local language.
Mashibweni.
Modishani.
Bueno.
Nadotela sana.
Sana sana. Ta santa sana.
Bueni. Modishani. Bueno.
The next morning, while having coffee at the Nsobe campsite, we were spoiled with cheetah casually walking right past Baloo. Then it was time to set off on our trekking adventure, complete with local guides on our route, to try and find the very rare and endangered shoebill that lives here.
These wetlands are not only home to shoebills, it is probably the only place in the world where you will see the black lechwe, of which an amazing 40,000 can be seen on the open marshy plains. The Bangweulu swamps is the southernmost point of the shoebill's distribution, and many birders venture here to track after this bird, likely one of the most coveted lifers in all of Africa.
One of the park's initiatives is hand-raising rejected shoebill chicks using special shoebill puppets made by Jim Henson from Muppets Tonight fame. As they say, it is about the journey to the bird that makes it worthwhile, and our day was no different. we saw a variety of amazing creatures in the wetlands.
As the shoebulls only build nests later in the year, locating one was not that easy. Anyone who considers a long-haul flight a cramped affair has never spent 10 hours in a mokoro.
It was a surreal moment when we eventually found one, and worth every bit of effort. From a giant amongst adventurers to a giant special bird, Bangweulu is a place full of specialities and wonders that need to be seeked. And whether you find them or not, you may well and simply find it a rare privilege to be in this Africa. As David Livingstone said, people talk of the sacrifice I have made in spending so much of my life in Africa. It is emphatically no sacrifice. Say rather, it is a privilege.
Here are some handy tips for visiting the Bangweulu Wetlands. For more information on these tips, click on the blog link in the video description below. In our next episode for Zambia, we take a great North Road trip to wildernesses and waterfalls.